Hi everyone, a very warm welcome back to For the Love of Comics, where I've been missing for a couple of weeks. First I had some travel, and then I had dental surgery, which is why one side of my face is still swollen and my delivery may have a slightly Stallone-esque swagger. But I did want to bring out at least one more video before the year ended, and as it turns out, very appropriately, this is a mail time video. One of the most unforeseen pleasures of this channel has been how people from time to time send me comics. And opening these boxes and going through these presents that people from all over the world send to me is one of my great pleasures and one that I really like sharing with people. Today we have this big box of comics from Colin all the way in the UK. I realize now that I hadn't gotten his permission to use his full name. Colin is a longtime viewer and patron supporter of this channel, and if that isn't enough, he has graciously sent me this box of comics that he believes I might enjoy. I may have a slight idea about what one of these comics might be, but this seems like more than one comic, so without further ado, let's unbox and take a look at what Colin has sent us. Here we've got a quick note. The first book, well, the latest Asterix volume. It's not gossamer, but it's not bad. Art is lovely. Story, well, to use a football cliche, a game of two halves. Interesting, if nothing else. Colin and I are, like many of us, fans of Asterix, but he does know that I have not read anything after Uderzo stopped working on them. This is Asterix and the White Iris, written by Fab Caro and illustrated by Didier Conrad. I've had a number of viewers remark to me that some of the more recent Asterix adventures aren't that bad, and I really should get over my prejudice and check them out. So thank you for getting me started on that, Colin. Let's see what we have next. Oh, more Charlie's War. I upgraded my Charlie's War to the new Rebellion editions. Format not as nice, but improved reproduction makes up for it, so a couple of spares for you. Much, much appreciated. This is Charlie's War Volume 5. Longtime viewers and those with a good memory may know that a similar box from the UK, that time from Paul Hatcher, had introduced me to Charlie's War, a series that he highly recommended and sent me the first 4 hardcover volumes of. I'll link that previous video in the description below and up here. Here's Colin taking up the relay from Paul and Volume 5 of the same editions. Now, of course, Colin's note is that the new Rebellion editions have better reproduction, but I did greatly enjoy those previous 4 volumes from Titan Books, and I'm just ecstatic to continue with Volume 5. Or, should I say, Volume 5 and Volume 6. This is Underground and Over the Top, Volume 6. Here we have the one book that I thought might be in this collection, Daniel Clowes' Monica. Looking through some of my shelf videos and chatting over email, Colin did ask me if I have Monica yet. I told him that I have been waiting for a price drop. He had a spare because, if I'm not mistaken, he got a collection of Daniel Clowes' comics on eBay, ended up with 2 copies of Monica, and has graciously sent me his spare. And the note does say, the spare copy of Monica we discussed, it's just brilliant. I hope you enjoy it as much as me. I've heard fantastic things about it. Now I have to be careful not to let my expectations get too high, but I'm thrilled to have finally a copy of Daniel Clowes' Monica. I think I'll just keep these on instead of taking them on and off again. Will Eisner's Quarterly 1. Some extra Will Eisner Quarterly I thought might interest you. I got a full set recently, so don't need these anymore. Need being in quotations. Issue 1 is a little tatty, I'm afraid. I don't care. I don't believe I have Will Eisner's Quarterly Issue 1. Will Eisner's Quarterly is a fantastic magazine that I've talked about, I think, a long time ago in my How to Get Started Reading Will Eisner video. And over there, I mention a number of paperbacks and hardcovers, but I do mention my love for this large magazine format reproduction of old and new works by Will Eisner. I believe I have 3 or 4 issues. Tatty or not, I'm absolutely thrilled to have issue number 1, number 2, and number 3. Fantastic. I believe the issues that I have start from 6 and 7. I'll have to take a closer look, but I'm pretty sure I don't have volumes 1 and 3. Fantastic additions to my Will Eisner collection in a format that I really enjoy. Now for what looks like a Marvel comic, it's Daredevil. This is number 266. In some episodes I've watched recently, you mentioned a couple of times you've not read much Daredevil, which is true. So here's my favorite Marvel DC comic ever, A Spare. From Ann Nocenti's criminally overlooked run, Daredevil, battered and bruised after some typically self-destructive tomfoolery, has nowhere to go for Christmas, so sits at a bar while events unfold around him. I am shooting this and opening this package on Christmas Day. It seemed kind of fitting, and this merely accentuates that. Thank you so much. I really look forward to reading Daredevil 266. 2 spare issues of a UK small press title I'm a big fan of, has 6 issues to date and a lovely hardcover edition. Obscure but fun. This is what Colin has to say about Chris Askam's Switchblade stories. So that's issue 1 over here. And issue 2, Small Press UK, comes highly recommended. What more can you ask for? It does not end. Probably my favorite of all the things I sent. Sean Phillips put together a broadsheet collection of spirit stories for a UK con I attended. Somehow I have a spare, so includes art from John M. Byrne, again, Brendan McCarthy, Seth, Sergio Aragonés, and more. Wonderful artifact and signed by Sean, I say. There's the Sean Phillips signature over there. And let's open this, shall we? Even though it might get a little unwieldy around here. Let's take a closer look. I really am intrigued by the broadsheet format, celebrating the centenary of the birth of Will Eisner, 1917 to 2017. There we go. Very much keeping in with the spirit section insert that Will Eisner created. Oh, look at that. Seth doing Central City. Wow. I've seen some such comics, and I think I own 1 or 2 in the broadsheet sizes, mainly San Francisco independent comics. American comics, my first UK broadsheet anthology. On we go. 2000 AD's greatest, celebrating 40 years. Colin says, want to send you some 2000 AD as it's my absolute favorite. This is something that I've appreciated about Colin and many viewers from the UK. My gaps in reading 2000 AD have been so ably recommended to and suggested to by a number of viewers. And just like Paul before him, Colin continues my 2000 AD education. What I have spare isn't the absolute best of Tharg's output, but gives a good sense of the comic's range. Starting with a fun compilation from the 40th anniversary in 2017. Nice samples from across the years. This seems to have work by Wagner, Grant, William, McManus, Mills, Shaw, Smith, Figueredo, Bolland, Esquera, Teague, O'Neill, Wilson, Dillon, Burns, Weston. Looking forward to this sample and where it might point me. More 2000 AD. Judge Anderson, Psi Division, Shambhala. A thick trade paperback. Alan Grant and Arthur Ranson produced some of the greatest stories from 2000 AD's middle era, often not well loved, the era. Just look at that art. I'm looking forward to it. All I know about Judge Anderson is the character that Olivia Thirlby played in the Carl Urban movie. Looking forward to enhancing that. Leatherjack. John Smith is one of 2000 AD's unsung greats. Leatherjack isn't his absolute best, but is up there. Astonishing writer who should be better known. I've certainly not heard of him, which proves Colin's point. John Smith and Paul Marshall's Leatherjack. The Order continues the collection of comics from 2000 AD. Colin says the Order is a nice modern thrill. Not the best, but still very good. Most importantly, it has amazing art from John M. Burns, who sadly passed recently. I know that John Burns is someone highly respected by people who know his work. I'm looking forward to introducing myself to him. And we're still not done. More 2000 AD in here, I think. This is the Zarjazz 100-page mega special. 2000 AD's Christmas, Xmas with the Devil. Not sure why I have a spare of this, but just a taste of modern 2000 AD for you. This is early 2023 in an annual bumper Christmas prog. Highlights / interest. Some of Kevin O'Neill's last work, sadly. Modern Bisley. Colin says. The Out is one of the best current 2000 AD stories. Dan Abnett is brilliant and nice tribute to Alan Grant. Some modern 2000 AD. And finally, the last book over here is the Phoenix Colossal Comics Collection Volume 1. I got this to record a podcast as a guest, Mega City Book Club episode 251. It's a bit tatty, sorry. Yes, how dare you. A good sample of a UK comic that doesn't get talked about enough. If you want more of the Phoenix, just listen to the episode. Includes snippets of Bunny vs. Monkey and Luke Sin by the genius Jamie Smart, and small bits of Focus by Doug Sliman and Squid Bits. I'm probably misreading some of these things, but that's what the box has. So let's do a quick recap, shall we? The Phoenix Colossal Comics Collection, Switchblade Stories 1 and 2, 2000 AD Christmas Annual, The Order by Ken W. and John Burns, Leatherjack by John Smith and Paul Marshall, Judge Anderson Side Division, Shambhala by Alan Grant and Arthur Ranson, 2000 AD's Greatest, Volume 1 perhaps, The Spirit Broadsheet Anthology, Daredevil number 266, issues 1, 2, and 3 of Will Eisner's Quarterly from Kitchen Sink Comics, Monica by Daniel Clowes, Charlie's War, Volumes 5 and 6, and Asterix and the White Iris. What a lovely, generous box. Thank you so much, Colin. And thank you, my patrons, my supporters, and everyone who comments, hits like, or just simply watches these videos. It's been another tumultuous year. I hope everyone's getting a wonderful break at the end of it. This has been For the Love of Comics. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next video.